Welcome back. This time we're talking about The Jungle Book, Disney's live-action adaptation of the classic children's books, as well as a remake of its 1967 animated film. The film is directed by Jon Favreau, and I have to say works on just about every level you would want a movie like this to work. First off, it's a technical marvel. Pretty much all of the animals in this film are computer generated, and from what I've read, a lot of this film was done on green screen, if not all of it, so pretty much all the backgrounds are computer generated as well. At least that's my understanding. And you can't tell. I mean, I spent the first 10, maybe 15 minutes of this movie kind of just marveling at what I was seeing, and after that I just sat there and accepted it. I just accepted that these animals were there, that they were in the jungle. There's one actor on screen, and I'm going to look at my notes to make sure I get his name correct. Neil Sethi plays Mowgli, and I have to say he's excellent in this movie. Great child actor, great find on Favreau and whoever handled their casting. So kudos to that. I've seen some headlines where people apparently are trying to compare this to Avatar, and I have to say that the comparisons on a technical level are not far off. This is an amazingly beautiful film. As we know, you can have a beautiful film and it still be terrible. Fortunately, everything works on this movie. The story's great, the voice work is great. As I said, the actor who plays Mowgli is great. I pretty much enjoyed this movie from start to finish. Before I get too much further, I will say, I mean, it's rated PG, but there are some pretty intense and scary moments in this movie that might be too much for small children. I saw this in a large theater with a lot of kids, and I don't have kids of my own, so the only way I can really gauge is I do kind of listen to hear if I hear crying. I did hear one very small child, probably sounded toddler age, in a row, actually in my row, a few seats down, very early in the movie. Did not notice that anyone got up to take the child out of the theater, so I'm guessing they calmed down. That was the only time I heard any crying throughout this movie, so that's the only way I can judge that. You know your kids better than I do. But I will say there are some pretty intense moments. The story, if you're not already familiar with it, either by the books or the animated film, the story follows Mowgli, a man cub who was found as an infant by the panther Bagheera, voiced here by Ben Kingsley. He's raised in a wolf pack, and his mother is Raksha, voiced by Lupita Nyong'o, and pretty much is having a wonderful childhood in the jungle with his brothers and sisters of the wolf pack. Things take a bad turn, however, when Shere Khan, the tiger, voiced by Idris Elba, discovers that this man cub is living in the jungle, and he hates mankind. He was apparently burned by a man earlier in his life and has a deep-seated hatred of man, and basically tells everyone that give Mowgli to him so he can kill him, or he will destroy everyone in his way. So Bagheera basically decides that Mowgli needs to go back to a man village, and he sets out on this adventure and meets a bunch of interesting characters along the way, including Baloo, the bear, voiced by Bill Murray, Kaa, the snake, voiced by Scarlett Johansson, and King Louie of the Monkeys, voiced by Christopher Walken. Now I have to say, I have not seen the original animated film probably in 25 years. I could not tell you anything about it except, obviously some of the songs like Bare Necessities. Comparing this story to the cartoon, I really can't do. I don't remember enough about it. But having talked to some people, compared to the cartoon, the Wolfpack definitely has a larger role in this movie. That's one change that apparently is pretty noticeable. But there are some callbacks to the cartoon, especially Bare Necessities. It's actually a pretty fun segment of the movie. And I have to admit, when I was watching the trailers, I was worried whether some of those moments, like Bare Necessities, would translate from animation to live action. And as much as I like Christopher Walken, in the bits I saw of him in the trailer, I wasn't sure, again, if his voice was going to work with a live action ape compared to an animated one. And in pretty much all those cases, it works perfectly. All of my concerns going in were settled. I had no problems upon leaving this movie. This is a really fun, well-paced, well-acted, well-designed film. Pretty much have no complaints upon leaving the theater. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie from start to finish. And again, other than maybe some small children who it might be a little bit too intense for, I highly recommend this to anybody. Fans of the cartoon, fans of the book. I haven't read the books, but I would assume that this would be a satisfying adaptation. And those just looking for a good family movie to bring their children to. Or if you have no children and just want to go see a good movie, this is definitely one for you as well. So, yeah, I recommend it to everyone. That pretty much says it all. So, have you seen The Jungle Book? If you have, let me know what you thought, good or bad, below in the comments. Love getting comments. And remember, you can always subscribe. You can always also check out my other reviews. And until next time, I'll see you at the movies.